Hey guys, Ashlane here coming at you today with a Q&A with POWERBANG Gaming. Some of you may know him. This is the third time he's been on the channel. I asked for your questions and you guys gave me a ton. So we sifted through them, tried to remove some of the duplicates, and it got to as many as we possibly could. So guys, go ahead and enjoy this conversation where we answer your questions. POWERBANG, what's going on, man?
What's cracking, Ash? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I think this is the third video we've done together.
Absolutely. I believe so. We did a couple interviews in the past. They went good, so here we are again.
Yeah, let's do it again, man. So this time we did a Q&A, and we asked all our Twitter followers and subscribers and Bindle room people to ask questions, and we're going to go ahead and answer them today.
Absolutely. So I put out the message on Twitter, my Bindle, obviously YouTube. We had a whole slew of good questions come in. Quite a few talking about the new update. So
of course,
obviously that's a topic that's fresh on everybody's mind, and they all want to know what's going on with Clash and all the things that have been changed, for better or for worse. Hoping to get some fixes in. So you want me to start out reading some questions?
Yeah, man, bring on the heavy hitters.
All right. Speaking of heavy hitters, we'll get a question here from Tom G. Lee. I'm sure I butchered that name. I apologize. But he asks, do you think Clash of Clans is going to die out the same way Backyard Monsters did because the devs gave up on it after making a huge mistake?
Backyard Monsters, were you a big player? Were you a big fan of that game? I've never heard of it. Oh,
yeah. 24/7, man. No, actually, I don't know what Backyard Monsters is. I'm sure it's a great game, or was before it apparently died out.
I'm sure folks will let us know in the comments.
Exactly, but
we're too old. We're too old to understand. But you want to start off with that, or?
Sure. I mean, as far as the game dying out, I mean, obviously, we are at a low point for Clash of Clans. This recent Town Hall 11 update, it introduced a lot of new things to the game, but the mechanics of the game were drastically tweaked, like the farming and whatnot. I think that's what everybody's most upset about. Mm-hmm. I don't see the game dying out. I don't see them giving up. I mean, they make so much money on this game. I don't know if people realize how much they make, and it's a lot of people look at it like, oh, it's a cash grab. No, it just doesn't make sense to give up on something that makes you a lot of money. So no, they're not going to give up on it. That's my opinion. You could probably do a better job of substantiating that with some actual data, but that's just a feeling that I have.
Yeah, I mean, this whole update thing, obviously, that's what the community wants to talk about. Of course, you go on the forums, you go on Twitter, you go anywhere, and everybody's talking about the updates. So, of course, I'm happy that the first question was about that. And, I mean, I think where we stand right now is, I don't know about you, but, like, on my channel, people are starting to come around a little bit, but there's certainly gripes to be had about the update, right? And, I mean, I'm thankful that finally Supercell acknowledged that in the lack of communication on yesterday, I believe, or the day before on the forum post. I'm not sure if you saw that, PB.
I did see it.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit too little too late, but at least we heard from them. And, I get a lot of heat on my channel because people are like, you were there, why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you helping us? Like, this game sucks, whatever. And ultimately, like I tell everybody I can that, hey, I told them what I think needs to be done, but who am I? I'm just, the smallest YouTuber there, basically. That's who I am. But of course I shared all my opinions and I stressed that they need to do a better job communicating. But again, they're the professionals here. I'm just me. But yeah, of course, I think that's huge, community interaction. So I think hopefully that will continue to get better. And like they said in their forum post, they're hoping to address a lot of these issues, especially the loot and the farming. Some things aren't going to change, they said, like the town hall sniping and stuff like that. But they're hoping to fix and address things, hopefully sooner rather than later. So
sure. I've stayed out of the whole, the ranting and the complaining and whatnot, and I choose to just play the game as it is in front of me. There's some things that, I think they could have done better with the update. Overall, though, I don't feel that I've been able to give it a fair shake yet, just because we've had this boost going on pretty much the entire time. So it's hard to see what really is in the economy because these collectors are pumping out everything at such a rate.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we can make these huge armies in no time at all. So I'm curious to see what happens after that. But to wrap this topic up, I think that, obviously they're sitting around the table. They're trying to figure out what to do. But with any business, any product, you're not going to continue to stay status quo and, do the same thing you're doing if all of your customers seemingly are upset with your product. I mean, you're going to make changes. You're going to tweak. You're going to provide a product that people are happy with. Otherwise, you won't be around. And I think they're smart enough to realize that, and they're going to put forth the effort in order to turn this thing around.
Yeah, no, good points. I agree. I agree completely. Having met the dev team, they're smart people. And, I have faith, obviously, in them. I mean, they created this game that we love so much that I have faith that they'll steer things back on the right direction. I think they're happy with a lot of the way the update turned out, and I think they're going to address, like I said, some of the loot stuff going forward. So that's pretty much where things stand right now.
Sounds good, man. Shoot, next question.
Yeah, let's do it. So kind of on the same topic, but maybe a little bit transitioning to easier questions. Let's see. This guy, Miku's Clashing Mike asks, what keeps you motivated to play Clash? POWERBANG, want to kick it off there?
Sure, man. For me, it's a sense of team. It's a camaraderie with the clan, that we've established and that we've grown, basically. Like my clan family, WHF, we've got 5 different clans now. And it's a group of over 100 people that it's almost family. We spend enough time on our devices and whatnot that's kind of the motivation that keeps you going. And then from a secondary perspective, it's the competitive nature of just who I am as a human being. Whatever I do, and for the time being, it's Clash of Clans and it's the wars, clan wars. I like winning and I like to compete, so that kind of stuff drives me, and it just kind of keeps you going and keeps you playing. I'm not necessarily bored with the game or upset with the game. We're still having a great time. And in WHF, this is one of the best, overall top to bottom we've been in quite some time. So that's what keeps me motivated. What about you, man?
Nice. Yeah, a lot of the same answers, just the community that I have. Similar to you, we have, 8 clans. We're just my dog's not happy. But no, we have 8 clans and a lot of great people, and I just love, I'm friends with them, obviously, now after over 3 years been playing with them, some of them. So, the people, number 1, and number 2 is, the game. Same thing with you. I'm a real competitive person in real life and in gaming, so it's something that, I just really enjoy doing, really enjoy playing, really enjoy ranking up the leaderboard, whether it be, personal individual stats or stuff like that. But yeah, I like the game, and, don't see myself stopping anytime soon. Even if the game dies, a lot of people ask me this on my channel, if everybody quits, what are you going to do on YouTube, and the answer is so simple. I'll just continue covering Clash, but not as many people will view,
Exactly.
Because, I still love the game, so it's just
sure.
It's something
you're entitled to cover whatever you want.
Exactly.
It's your channel, and if there's another game that you find that you enjoy, dude, have at it. I'm all for it. I'd also be remiss on that same subject if I didn't mention all of the people that come out to the streams, come out to the YouTube channel and leave comments and whatnot. Absolutely love the interaction there. Yeah. And that's another thing on the side that kind of keeps me really motivated is like when I do post my videos and stuff, hundreds of comments and, likes and whatnot. And that's cool too. So I would be remiss if I did not mention that as well.
Oh, absolutely. I'll second that as well. And are you able to respond to all your comments?
Oh my God. I recently posted a tweet that, I basically said, all right, guys, it's official. I am never catching up. And it was when I went on holiday for like 2 days over Christmas, so like out of town or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I was on the way back, I got my cell service back. And in the upper right or whatever, the browser, it has the little icon with how many, comments you have or whatever.
Yeah.
And it gave me an infinity symbol. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I don't know what that is, if that's over 100 or what, but it gave me the infinity symbol. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of symbolic. I don't know that I can keep up with them all. But at the same time, I'm up over like 61,000 subs or something like that, something close there. But yeah, the amount of comments that I get, I try to answer as many as I can, especially the ones that are legitimately asking questions or providing, real feedback. I try to get to everybody, but obviously anymore it's simply not possible. It's like a full-time job to respond to everything.
Yeah, I'm the
but
same way.
I do my best.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I used to really pride myself on responding to every single comment, but now you're right. It literally would be there for 4 hours a day if I did. So now I've kind of limited it to the first 2 or 3 hours of videos up. I try to respond to those comments, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I can get back on track.
I do the same thing, man. Like I post a lot of my videos at night before I go to bed, and I'll post, go upstairs, and then basically from that time until I fall asleep, I'll respond, and then throughout the next day until I start to record the next video, and then after that, if I get any like pertinent questions or comments that come in, I try to get to those as well. So it just depends on if I have something going on at the time or not.
Yeah. Next question.
Cool, man. Sounds like it's me. Let's see here. I've got one that is also related to the update. And Dylan Whitelock asks, why won't Supercell admit removing dead bases from the search? So I think he's referring to, in the past, we had these, collector bases where everything's completely full. The storages might be completely empty, but you find these bases that are basically unicorns, and you're able to use a very cheap army like Barch or something to take all of that loot. And we're just not seeing that as much anymore. I saw at first when the first update, or when the update first dropped, a lot of people had not updated their bases to get the town hall on the inside. So town hall sniping was like the thing for like the first 2 or 3 days of the update, and then that started to dry up. And that's what I was noticing, was the sniping was drying up, and at the same time, if you think about it, sniping doesn't provide a shield until I believe the third one, right? So even with that, I mean, there should have still been quite a few bases on the market, so to speak, but you weren't even seeing those as much anymore. So I don't know. I think there's some evidence there that suggests that no, you're not seeing dead bases, but at the same time, the question kind of asks about Supercell, why they won't admit it, and to be honest, they haven't quote-unquote admitted anything really until yesterday. They didn't acknowledge what they put out in the update. They didn't talk about it. No real communication has been had with the community to acknowledge really any factor that was changed in this update when it comes to removing dead bases or anything. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's two parts of the two-part answer, I guess. Number one is that it's not that they haven't admitted it; it's they haven't confirmed or denied. So the issue is are there less dead bases, and if so, why? Not so much are they denying it. So I think there are less bases, and something funky's going on. If you log on to your second or third account, and you can see maybe you haven't been attacked in perhaps 16 hours without a shield, right?
Right.
And then you log on, you don't do anything, and you still have no shield, for example. And then you log off, and then you log back on an hour later, you've been attacked 30 times. So, I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know what it is exactly, but somehow, if you're not active on your village, there's some mechanic that's been added or tweaked. It seems like, at least. It could be some kind of weird, community behavior that's causing this to happen, but I don't think so. I think something's been tweaked or a new mechanic's added that if a village is not active, meaning that the owner hasn't logged on, regardless of the shield situation, it's removed from matchmaking for a period of time. I don't know exactly why or if they're going to continue to tweak that, but that seems to be the issue right now.
I think I've got some evidence of that as well now that you mention it. I logged on to my Town Hall 8 account today.
Yep.
And it has been a couple weeks since I've done anything with that. And I had pretty much full collectors, and my trophies had gone down by 12. And I was down in the silver leagues, and I'm thinking I should have been slaughtered. You know what I mean? After a while of not logging on, I mean, it was a couple weeks, and I don't know why I wasn't or why my account was just sitting there. But it is what it is. But yeah, I don't think the issue is them admitting it. I don't think it's any sort of conspiracy or anything like that trying to fool the people into thinking that there's still dead bases in there. I just think it's poor communication in general, and the fact that they haven't kept up with the community and let us know what's going on.
Yeah. I guess that wraps up that question. Do you want to do a few rapid fire ones here to
Yeah, man.
Okay. I got one. I got one here. I think I got a good one for you from Gaming with Roxas.
Okay.
Roxas. It's at Roxas502, and he asks if Supercell makes a matchmaking server for arranged wars, who would be the clan you would want to go up against? So I'll let you answer that one first.
Man. Well, if I had, I can't really just pick one. Okay, so I'm in a clan. We do, pretty high-level clan wars all the time. And I have a scheduled war right now every weekend all the way out to middle of February right now. And it's hard to say, just one. Like, we just played Cold September last weekend. So I'd have to say they were up there on the list of, funnest clans that we've played. Maybe a rematch with One Hive here in the near future. So, I mean, maybe something like that. We had a lot of fun with those. But we have actually been able to arrange some of the wars that we want to play just as part of the fair play community that we established a few months back. So that's a great question, though. It would be really nice. It's kind of related to this question, but not quite, directly answering it. All the time when we're trying to arrange these wars with people, we have to have people like gem, some defenses up to match weights properly, or have somebody boost up their town hall or something. And it's not necessarily where they want to be as a player, but they're willing to do it to make the match happen. And it would be cool if, each team was willing to accept, each other's weights as is, and they would be cool with just matching up and seeing what happens. It would be cool if there was a system for matchmaking servers for arranged wars or something that you could say, yes, we're good with this, and then it just happens. So that would be cool. Do you guys have a clan that you'd like to play against?
Well, it might be cliche, but I'd like to face like all the big YouTubers' clans. I'd like to.
Sure.
Chief Pat just beat me in the Clash Royale tournament, so I'd really like to give him a run for his money in
take
Clash
down the
of Clans.
Clashronauts, man.
Yeah, take down the Clashronauts. I'd take down Lost Phoenix.
But would you take down WHF?
Oh yeah, easy.
Probably would with those big old town halls you got over there.
Well, no, obviously no. Your clan, all the big clans would just be so much fun. I guess that's the only danger is you'd have to have a nice cooldown on those arranged war times. Otherwise, I'd be arranging them with everybody, and then no one would normal quote unquote, but no clans out of the spotlight would ever face clans like your clan or One Hive, big clans like that, because it'd always be arranged, and there'd be a long waiting list, I assume. But no, there's a lot of clans to take down that I'd love to try to have a chance at taking down. But I guess I would just go through the YouTubers. I've had Beaker on; he has Unity Elite. I have Spencer, you obviously, Jake, Spencer, $23 sign. I'd love to take him down. So yeah,
I hear you.
It would be pretty fun.
I got a couple quick ones for you.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about smaller wars? Dirty Logic's asking 5v5 with quicker prep times, like 12 hours or so, maybe even less. Who knows? What do you think about that?
I think it's a great idea, and I think that will be how tournaments are run. I'm very confident that a tournament feature will be added to the game in 2016. So I would think there would be that type of scenario, 5 to 10 man wars in a quick format.
Sure. And then what about what do you think of the idea to get a bonus or reward when you have a defensive win? Not offense, but when you get attacked and you hold up against the opponent. Should you get some cash Ola for that or what?
That's a popular thing. If you're going to run for president of Clash of Clans, that would be my number one running promise because so many people ask for that, and it's certainly a really popular request. I don't know, honestly, if that would be one of those things that to answer responsibly, I would have to really have my, have the knowledge of what the economy looks like behind the scenes. So, sure, it sounds like a great idea, and obviously the economy is hurting right now. So, yeah, it does make sense, but as with all my ideas about fixing the economy, there's a lot of good ideas, and I'm just not sure which one is most feasible and which one makes the most sense. So, I don't know.
I got an answer for that one too. That's a good question. I think that it would help infuse some loot into the economy. The attacker isn't suffering at all by, obviously they lost. That sucks. They wasted some, resources on troops and whatnot and got not a lot in return. But, it infuses something on the defensive side, and it also will accomplish the goal of playing the game as it was intended by having people build real bases where they protect their town halls and keep those in the center. So I think it would be a great thing to see something like that. Maybe not, quite the bonuses that you get on offense, but
do you think it could be exploited by having people with heavier bases go down in leagues? That way they can basically farm defenses.
Perhaps. I think perhaps.
I'm just this is just off the cuff. I haven't really put too much thought into it, but I'm just trying to think
me either. It's off the cuff too. I think that you might be able to do something like that, but I'm trying to think of. I mean, I suppose you could. There are probably some things like that you'd have to hash through, and I'm sure Supercell has.
Yeah,
but
I guess that's not necessarily a bad thing. Farming defenses, I mean,
sure, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the attacker at all. So I don't think it would influence their decision to drop a troop and leave or anything, because they don't care. They're dropping trophies or whatever they're trying to do, or whatever they're trying to accomplish. It doesn't hurt them to do that. So I bet you probably could. So,
yep.
You got one more question for me?
Yeah, let's do one more here. Big Mac Attack at MacManiac33 asks, Town Hall sniping was removed because it was being exploited. Will .5s be removed from the war matchup system for the same reason? That's a good question. You wanna take it first?
Will Town Hall, just .5 Town Halls, be removed from the war setup for the same reason? I don't think they will. And the reason I say that is because I feel like it's very difficult to enforce something like that. Like, I don't think you can exclude somebody from matchmaking or from participating in the game simply because they chose to upgrade their buildings in a different order than another player. I think that's one of the great things about Clash, is that there's so many different ways you can play. And that goes down to upgrading. I've seen I've seen players in War where they have no defenses except for their level 1 cannon and max Town Hall 10 offense. So obviously that's taking it to an extreme, but that was their choice, and obviously they're making sacrifices in order to build their account like that. Obviously spending a lot of gems to get everything up, but yeah, man, I just don't think they can remove a .5 without really kind of segregating and discriminating against a portion of their player base.
Yeah, I think the only way to do it, if they were going to do it, would be just to make offense much heavier in war weight, But as far as, I don't see the .5 upgrading system. I just did a video on this, 1 or 2 days ago. So if people want to see, if they don't know what it is, they can feel free to check it out. But basically all it is, like you said, prioritizing offense over defense. And that's a smart move if you're a war-oriented player. But in the last update, they actually changed things a lot. They made it much more difficult for the individual to become .5, because now you have to defend. You can't take those Town Hall snipes. So if you're a 9.5, you're going to be defending against Town Hall 10s 90% of the time, and they're going to roll over your village. So that's something that you have to take into account, that previously to the update, you didn't have to even think about, because you could pretty much ride those shields. So
exactly.
I think that pretty much balanced the scales, in my mind, enough to make it, now people have to really make a decision. Should I go .5 or do I want to protect my loot more? So
sure.
I like the balance now.
I like that too. And another thing on the .5s, for those that like to arrange wars, currently with no matchmaking system for an arranged war, .5s are really hard to include because it's hard to get their accurate weight.
Yeah.
And I've seen more matchups screwed up from having 9.5s in or 8.5s in than really anything else. So it makes it difficult, and sometimes you end up having to leave those players out of war altogether, which is funny because they're basically exploiting the system in order to have an advantage in war, and then they're not even able to play in some of the matches that they're trying to have an advantage in. So, I think .5s, I wouldn't say they're a thing of the past, but I don't think they're as, popular or warranted as they used to be.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we don't do arranged matchups anywhere near as often as you do, so we probably do one a month, perhaps. So for us, it's still a good advantage, because we don't care.
Sure.
We don't care if the
right.
We don't care if the other clan has, but yeah, a totally valid point as far as it's difficult because it's such a great advantage. It's difficult to factor that in when you're arranging a war, but. I guess we can probably wrap things up now. I think we went a little bit longer than we anticipated, but that's always a good thing, hopefully.
It happens every time we talk,
It
man.
does. It does.
It happens every time, but it's all good. It's all good. Hopefully everybody enjoyed, the conversation. If you guys liked it, hit the like button, let us know, and we'll do more of these in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. Sorry we couldn't get to them all, but as people have probably guessed by now, we're both a little long-winded. So, but thanks for doing this, PB. Appreciate it, man.
Awesome, man. Anytime, Ash, and hope you had a good time in Finland, man.
I did. Thank you.
Cool. All right, guys.
All right.
Well, till next time. This is PB. I'm signing out.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Hey, guys. Thanks for watching my video. Just a few ways you can help the channel out. Number 1, like. Number 2, subscribe. And number 3, comment. Tell me what you think of the video. I really appreciate it, guys, and it really helps me out a lot. Also, you can find me on social media. I'm active every day on Twitter at @clash_with_ash and on Bindle chat group #ClashWithAsh. And as always, you can find me on my website at www.clashwithash.com. Thanks, guys.